a comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Kandid Konvos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. We got Vince on deck. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Man, shout out to y'all for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, do me a favor, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Also, man, hit that share, man. We want to get this content out to as many of our people as possible. And that is one way to do it. Hit that share. More folks see. Drop a comment. More folks see it. Hit that like button. More folks see it. So, man, these is all freebies, man. This don't even cost y'all no money, man. So hit that like button for us. Hit that share. Listen, if you haven't already, for my YouTube folks, hit that subscribe. Listen, help us grow the platform so we can take this to the next level. But once again, man, shout out to y'all, man. So let me do this real quick as we get into these conversations tonight. Here's a link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming in through an Apple device, come on and join us. All the platforms work. So, man, drop this in your browser, man. Join us on the panel, man. Don't be scared. I said, bring your perspective to the conversation. I said, we want to hear from everybody. Yeah, we want to hear from everybody. In addition to the video feed here, we also have this link in the chat feeds as well. So you can catch it at the Kandid Konvos page on YouTube or Facebook and get the link that way as well. But I'll leave this up here on the screen as we get into this conversation tonight. Go ahead, Coco.
Some more housekeeping. I also wanted to mention too that we are now posting previously recorded episodes of the podcast on Spotify, which you can listen to for free. So, you know, if you want to catch up with the show while you're in your car, while you're commuting back and forth to work, you can now download the Spotify app for free and listen to previously recorded episodes. And we are uploading those episodes on a weekly basis, so you can catch up.
Okay. All right. Shout out to that. So I know folks like to listen to stuff while they're on the move. So yeah, man, go hit that Spotify up, man. Check us out, man. Like I said, we dropping some of the fire up there, so y'all can get in on it while you in your move, in your car, like she said, getting your jog on, whatever you do. So check us out over on Spotify as well. Like I said, we are trying to hit all the platforms up. All right, let me see what we got checking in early tonight. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Donovan. He said, "What up, though? Good to be back, man. Good to be back, man. Appreciate that. Another Wednesday in the building. Appreciate you holding us down, supporting the platform." See Kenyatta in the building. She said, "Happy Wednesday, everyone. What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight as well, holding us down." Yeah, we about to get on into it. All right. So we ain't gonna hold it up. We're gonna get right on to into it tonight. Man, messing words up. Stuff ain't coming out right tonight. I don't know what's going on. All right, man. Topic for tonight. Men don't deserve 100% from women. Man, I need the right sound effect for that right there, because that's that right there. That's crazy.
The pee-pee goes burp, burp, burp.
Yeah, that's about what they do. Let me run that back. Men don't deserve 100% from women. Man, y'all know how we get down, man. You know I don't run from no topics. Whatever y'all send over, we're going to have a conversation, man, especially if it adds value into the community. So I'm definitely going to have a conversation. With this one right here got me a little hot already. Beatbox in the building, JR in the building. Somebody else just hopped on. What was that? Oh, wait a minute. Is that cold? Oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. And shout out to y'all hopping on tonight, man. This one already, this title, events in the building as well. This title starting out a little interesting. I don't know if I like this. All right, let me go on and go and get this popping, man. Let me see.
Somebody 100%. I don't care if this is your husband of 50 years, okay? Because you cannot control what people do. And when you give somebody 100%, you
Let me run that back. Sorry, y'all.
Go ahead.
never give somebody 100%. I don't care if this is your husband of 50 years, okay? Because you cannot control what people do. And when you give somebody 100%, you need the 5 or 10 to dig for a shovel to dig your out of the mess that you're gonna be in when the shit go to left.
I'm gonna respond with a question. If you're not giving me 100, then can I supplement it?
When you recognize that when you love and you care about somebody, love is not possession nor is ownership. And so I'm gonna tell you ladies in here, a man for you gonna want you to keep the 5 or 10, okay? Because he's gonna want you to be a mother, he's gonna want you to be a wife, he's gonna want you to take care of yourself, he's gonna want you to go to the gym. Because that little 5 or 10% is going to be what's gonna save the relationship, what's gonna make me love you when like ain't enough, okay?
You said marriage in terms of not giving 100%, and that's what I don't agree, because as a man, that's exactly what we give. Like, I'm not gonna protect you 90% of the time. I'm not gonna provide for you 90% of the time or 95% of the time. You're getting everything I got. Because
Right,
if
but
I'm
men
giving
or women
100
are two
and you
different
giving
people,
90,
okay?
then we're gonna have a problem. We're not as equally invested and as equally yoked to the religious people
It's
out there
not
as
about
we should
equally
be.
investing, because as a woman, our job is to incubate, okay? And that's why we need the extra 5 to 10% that don't belong to you, okay? When you are a woman, our purposes in life are 2 very different things, right? Whatever you give me, I double and I multiply. I need that wiggle room, okay, for you to pour into me and for me to double and multiply. That's why you can't get my 100%. And our roles in life are just completely different. You'll be all right off 90, trust me.
The reason why I said relationships are not 50-50, they're 100 and 100 is because I'm a woman who gives myself 100%. So why would I get into a marriage and pour less into something I'm investing in than I'm giving to myself? Marriage is about building. Giving yourself is a building block. And women should not be marrying a man who they feel they got to save 10% somewhere else for the exit strategy.
Okay, Dimitri,
for the
what's
exit
up?
strategy. That doesn't make any sense.
Man, man. All right, man. Tonight we talking, man. Men don't deserve 100% from women. Okay. Well, y'all saw the video, man. Drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about what y'all saw in the video. Shout out to tonight's conversation. I thought we was done. Never mind. I ain't about to do that. All right. So let me come on to the panel. Actually, let me check comments. Then I'm gonna come to the panel. I can see y'all already ready. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Donovan said 100% of what? I'm gonna leave that right there, Donovan. I think I know where you're going with that. See, Donovan also said, let's see, I heard it was 80-20. Yeah, that was in the movies. It's in the movies. See, Kenyatta said, let's see, that's part of the 100%. Yeah. Kenyatta said, lady, please. Okay. And then Kenyatta said what the second lady said. Yeah, no doubt. All right, cool. Appreciate them comments right there. So I'm coming back to the panel, man. Coco, Beatboxer, Cole, Vince, JR. What y'all think about what y'all just heard? Do you agree? You disagree? Was any of the speakers hitting? Was they both fumbling? Y'all tell me something.
I agree with her.
Go ahead, JR. You first. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with her that men don't deserve 100%. Because then that means I get to give her less. I like it. Keep it coming, ladies. Next.
Wait. I need somebody to translate what JR just said, man. Somebody
JR is the guy that the lady in the video is talking about that says, don't give him 100% because you're gonna need later to dig yourself out. You acting like that guy, JR, and I don't really think that's you, but that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving.
I don't
think that's what JR is saying.
No, JR, he's saying that my interpretation, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I am going to hear with a female brain, but it sounded like he was saying, so that's okay. She don't have to give. Nope. She don't have to give 100. I agree. Because then I don't have to give 100. Is that what you were saying?
Come off mute, JR.
No, I'm basically saying that because I know that I'm never going to get 100.
Okay.
I'm walking in there. She's going to get less because I know that's the mindset of women.
Okay.
Oh, I got you.
So
okay.
Keep it
so
coming.
he said he matched energy.
So I'm not going to fight you. So I'm not going to fight you to give me that 100% that I know I'm never going to get. Unless you're willing to give, right? I'm never going to have to ask. So because I know that most men, or majority of men, majority of men have to ask. Just keep it coming. Like I said, hey, easy game. I ain't got to look after you. That monthly subscription is a cheap one.
Oh man, okay. Now I better know. I appreciate the clarification. Now I understand where you're coming from. So let's see, you matching energy. So I got you. All right, cool. Let me come on around. Let's anybody else just come off. Coco, I see you off. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say that it's really a sad day when I actually agree with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, because she was right. Like it makes absolutely zero sense for you to say that I'm going to give less than 100% to the man who chose me, who committed his life to me, who, has promised to protect and provide for me, and who has, promised to do life with me, I'm going to give him less than 100%. Then who gets 100%? Nobody in your life gets 100%. Her argument wasn't really logical, right? Because on one breath, she's saying, oh, well, you have to say, if you're someone who's going to give 100%, then you're going to need that 10% or that 5% to dig yourself out of the mess that is created because you gave 100%. But then when Trill asked the question, well, wait a minute, well, then can I supplement for the 5 or 10% that you don't want to give me as your husband? Then she comes back and says, well, no, see, what I need the 5 or 10% for is for like my kids and for like myself. So now which is it? Because it's giving that you're flip-flopping. But not only that, every one of those things that you mentioned should get 100%. Your marriage should get 100%. You should give yourself 100% of effort. Your children should get 100%. All of these things should get 100% of effort, right? Now we understand what that calculation may look different from day to day, because let's just be so honest. Life is life. You're not going to feel exactly the same every single day. Let's just be honest. But every day your goal is to try to show up fully in every single one of these roles and do your very best to show up every day and give 100% to every single one of these roles, because they're all important. To say that you got to set aside a percentage of your effort because there's this I have to do and that I have to do, and then going into it saying, well, if I give 100%, I'm gonna have to dig myself out of a mess. Who did you marry? I have to say it once again, like, who did you marry that you feel like you have to reserve something? You already got an exit strategy. You already got a plan to get out. Like, what's actually happening? Sometimes I feel like we get on here and we just make these statements and we make these comments. And I just want to say, like, tell me you're not married without telling me you're not married. This is why Trill's question as a married man was presented to her the way that it was. Because as a married man, he already knows, yeah, this kind of relationship ain't gonna work. Because especially in marriage, that's definitely a relationship where you got to show up with 100%, baby, because if you don't show up with 100%, it's not gonna work.
Now take it back a layer, Miss Coco. Take it back a layer. I said take it back one layer, not just men in marriage, men in general know that it's not gonna work. Not just him, men know this. Does that make sense? Not just the married men. Hence why men aren't proposing, because we just know that, hey, we're not gonna get it. So men in general are feeling the sentiment that young lady, whatever, she's feeling.
Got it.
That's real. No,
A woman who doesn't give a man 100% doesn't like him to begin with. And a man can feel the difference. He knows when she's holding back, even if she doesn't say it. He's like, oh, I don't feel like you're doing this like as much as I know you can do or would do for a man that you do love. So a lot of men will back out of that deal. If they're smart enough, they're infatuated with a woman, they'll ignore those warning signs. Even if it's 10% less than what they know he could get, a lot of men will accept it because of a low self-esteem.
Yeah. No, that's true as well, man. Like I said, some guys will accept it. Go ahead, JR, and then we'll come back up to the top.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? If men sit there and say that women are useless, then it'd be, there'll be loud noises. How dare you say we are useless? She said it herself. Women are here to just incubate and not give 100%. So, am I wrong to say that women are just here to just have kids for men? But she said it.
No, that's real. She did say that. Yeah, she did say that. Good point. Good point.
They heard that. Oh, Lord have mercy. First of all, Oh my gosh, I am not an incubator. I need y'all to stop that. If y'all gonna quote Dr. Miles Monroe, may he rest. If y'all gonna quote the powerful man of God, then please quote him properly. He did not call us incubators. He said women are multipliers. He said, whatever you give a woman, she multiplies. Now, that, of course, is in the context that she's operating properly in her role. If she's operating properly in her role, then yes, everything that you give her, she can then and will then naturally multiply it. He never called us incubators. This is not Alien versus Predator. That is not what we are. Please stop getting on podcast microphones and trying to sound smart and saying something that's absolutely ignorant. We are not incubators. Please stop reducing us. If we are just incubators, then men can just go get false wombs. Y'all know, maybe that's not in our income brackets, but as Akon, he told y'all about that. Women can just go get artificial, men can just go get artificial wombs and just
They already do.
make it happen, right? You get what I'm saying?
We kind of already do. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, if we're just incubators and that literally is the only function that we're valuable for, then really that's just another thing that a man could just go buy. So please stop reducing us to incubators. Like, that's not the sentiment. Please don't do that.
Yeah, no, that I think that term was, I heard that term a while ago circulating around social media. So that was another, I think that was another one of those YouTube talking points, that a lot of folks latched on to. And I said, now the young ladies is latching on to it as well. Yeah, let me keep going. Let's say beatbox. I know if you wanted to say something, Cole, come off mute, say what you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, just to jump off kind of what JR was saying, because I got what JR was saying, it's being satirical, but yeah, this is why I kind of state, like, we as men want tangible stuff, because the woman that first talked about certain things, she's the norm, right? So if I know that I'm not going to get all of you, then hey, you got to pay. We can't be playing this game where I'm doing all the work, I'm sacrificing everything, and I only get 90 at most. Nah, bro, we're not doing that. Like, we're just not. So if I'm even going to entertain being around you, then we're going to go 50-50. You're probably never going to get married, because I know if I marry you, you're not going to act right. So it's kind of, that's kind of where we're at. And I don't know how to fix that other than women like getting a clue and acting right. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. So.
Yeah, no, I feel that right there. Shout out to my guy, Andre Cable in the building. He said, what up, gang? What's going on, Andre? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight. You want to say something, Joe? Then I'll come back to Cole. Go ahead.
I understand what she meant when she said about giving so much of yourself that you neglect yourself. So I get that point she was trying to make. But I think what she was assuming was that she has to give less to someone else in order to give more to herself. So you don't have to give someone less to give more to you. You can give someone all of yourself, but yet give yourself all of you as well. So you don't have to subtract one thing from the other. But I understand where she was coming from.
All right,
perhaps she was in a situation that she gave a lot of herself, and she didn't get what she probably thought she should have got from that relationship. And so she has whatever traumas or whatever deal she's dealing with. And a lot of times that may be where that's coming from. I gave myself all to this man and I got nothing. So the next man I go to, I'm gonna give him a little less because if he's worth a damn, he's not going to accept it. So they kind of have to balance that one out for themselves.
Joe, you sound like Derek Jackson, bro. You sound like Derek Jackson. You're messing up.
Oh, you know that's the truth, though.
Don't listen to that, Joe. Don't listen to him.
Oh man, he didn't do the DJ on him, man. Let me check in with Cole over here real quick. Then I'm gonna circle back to Vince. Cole, what you think about what your girl was saying? Was she saying something, or was she just talking outside her neck? What you say, Cole?
I'm just gonna say I don't know because I just don't
Oh,
think I
come
listen to
on.
some of these popular topics. All I can say is if I was the person that was in a relationship or married with the person, then I'm giving 100%. And if it's not coming up that way, then we just need to have a discussion and make decisions. So I just
So let me ask you
relax.
this. Let me ask you this, Cole. I said because I know you and you out here in the market a little bit, right? How? No, I'm just keeping it real. So how would you feel hearing that, like as the female? So where does that take your mind? So the man comes to you and he says, you know what, Cole, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to wife you up. You know what I'm saying? Start a little family. I'm gonna take care of you, but I'm only gonna give you 90. What you
I
what you saying to that? No, just keep it
I
real.
mean
What you saying to that as a woman?
I would the discussion would be what on earth what do you explain this 90% looking like? And at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm not keeping score because I know I'm gonna be me regardless. Like I'm just at that point where I know how I'm gonna be. So I'm not keeping up a weird percentage. Like this is like I'm looking at like this is the workload, this is what we gotta do, and we either divvy it up or we switch certain days. Like I don't the percentage crap makes no sense. I don't know.
No, I'm saying I'm just asking. I'm really really what I'm asking is I'm referencing at its most basic form. Yep. So as a man coming to a woman, I said because tonight's conversation this is a large platform, right? So there's a lot
Mhm.
of eyeballs on that platform, right? So
Mhm.
as a man coming to a woman and me telling you that I want to commit to you, make you my wife and start a family, and you're gonna be, Mrs. Johnson and whatever else. But then I'm gonna tell you I'm only gonna give you this amount. It's like, what does that as a woman, when you hear that, when you hear a man coming out the gate telling you you only gonna get this amount of me and that's it? As a woman, do you be like, okay, I can work with it, or does that just turn you off
Nah,
because you selling me
I'm
short?
yeah, I'm completely turned off because you already keeping score. You're already keeping score, and then it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a relationship work. Like stuff is probably going to be uneven at different stages of the relationship, and
Yep.
all you got to do is just talk about it when it starts to feel that way. So if he's bringing up a percentage, to me, that's just an indication that you already keeping score. You're not going to be 100% committed and you're probably on some tit for tat type of stuff. And I don't have time for none of that.
Right. Okay. I
So
And
feel
then
that.
he can just
effort.
keep going. So if he can't get
It's
past that.
I
about
feel that.
effort and intent, right? Because Coco said it earlier. It's not you're not everyone's a human being. No one's gonna we know logically no one's gonna give 100% in anything. People slack off, people are lazy in relationships and business and work and whatever. And so it's about effort and intent. If you have to say to someone, I'm taking away 10% of something, then I would want to know what is that 10% you're holding back from me? And why do you feel like you need to hold that back? So no one's gonna. It ebbs and flows. 80%, 90%, 100%. You gas the pedal. You slow down a little bit. Oh, slowing down. I gotta pick it up. Pick it back up. That's just life. So it's weird for her to say something like that. It's not even that she's wrong per se, because that's life in all areas, not just relationships. It's that she feels the need to make that a specific point. I'm going to hold back 10%. Like, well,
But where are you
just
getting the percentages from? That's what I'm saying. Like the
it's
second that
weird to
she
me.
brought the
I don't know.
second that she brought up the percentages meant that to me you're not giving 100% of effort. You're calculating every little thing that you do. Which first of all, who got the mental time to even sit up and calculate everything that you got to
Great
do?
point.
Like you got stuff to do. It's stuff to be done. It's tasks to do. Like what are we talking about? So, like I said, for me in that conversation, I wouldn't have been in the room when that conversation was said because I'm not thinking of the relationship that way.
No, that's real right there. That's real. Let me come down to Vince. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Vince.
This is actually a real thing.
It is.
Um,
Huh?
because Coco brought up a point. I think this lady knows that women usually pick the wrong man. So to save yourself, girl, because I know you're not gonna pick the right man, you need to save a little something. So when it fall apart, you'll have your golden parachute. And
That's real.
this goes even deeper with I hear a lot of women say, "Oh, oh no, I got to keep something for myself. I got to keep my own name. I got to keep my own house. I got to keep something for myself." So I understand what she's talking about in a very general sense, but when it comes to marriage, see, I don't know if she's married or not. I know Miss Doctor not married.
Neither one of them is.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay attention to women who are not married, or at least have a committed, relationship, because I don't even think they understand. Because people are here looking for these quote unquote, and that's what you do in a partnership. That's why I'm so heavy on words. You protect yourself in a partnership, don't you?
Facts. That's true. Yeah, no, that's true, man.
It ain't
Yeah,
all or nothing. It's my
facts.
half and your half.
That's true. Yeah, especially from a business perspective, right? The protections, and what I'm saying, that's the whole concept behind it. So no, you're right on that, man. That's a valid point.
And
You want to say
the
anything else?
problem
Go
is
ahead.
with a lot of these ladies is that a man of value, you're gonna have to give him 100%. You have to give him 120%. So she understands that a lot of these ladies are not gonna find the man that they really want, the 666. So if you find the 232, then you're gonna have to, he ain't gonna make as much money as you want him to make. He not gonna be as affectionate as you want. He ain't gonna give you the Jamaica trips. He ain't. So you gotta say something just in case.
Right. That's real, man. That's another view at it. But no, I agree. I see you made some valid points right there. Let me get these comments. I'm gonna come back to the panel. Shout out to my guy J.U. Griffin. He said women have divorced for years because they felt they were given 100%. They were given 100% in the relationship, and men were not. Yeah, no, let's say you have a point here, J.U. Once again, I think there was a lot of feelings involved. Yeah, there was a lot of feelings involved versus what actually was going on, if we be real about this. But I understand exactly what you're saying. You got a point here, J.U. See, Donovan said, let's see, the introductory exit strategy is mind-blowing. Yeah, man. That's where I was about to go with this. Because I said I hear things when I see these videos. Yeah, I have to really digest what's being said. One of my first questions that I do have, and this is to any ladies who is watching, so this includes Coco, Cole, and Kenyatta. And I'm not sure if any other ladies are watching right now. If you are, drop a comment, let us know you're here. But my question would be is, why do so many women today, because I see enough of this content, why do so many women today go into relationships outside of what Vince just said, because he made a valid point. But why do so many women today go into relationships essentially expecting it to fail? Yep. Now I know to Vince's point, he's saying that, a lot of them know that they're going to be picking the wrong dudes. But there's got to be more to that, because I hear this a lot. Women going into these relationships already expecting it to fail. So she got to have a back out plan, and she got to put a little something on the side, and it's all these contingencies. And I'm like, but if you're going into it genuine, authentic, being transparent, and going in to make it work, why are y'all always thinking about something failing? Especially if you got a percentage. Well, basically we back to these percentages again, especially if you got a percentage in this relationship, why are you going in expecting it to fail? So any lady who can school me on that, yeah, let me know what that is and help me understand what that is. Yeah, why do ladies go into relationships expecting them to fail? If I don't get that. Go ahead, Coco.
I don't think that, I just don't think that women know, and when I say women, of course, I mean in general, I don't think that women know how to make relationships work. I don't think that they know. I'm not trying to make excuses either. I just think that this is part of the problem. I don't think that a lot of women understand what it takes to make a relationship work. And when they are told what they need to do to make a relationship work, they don't want to do it. So once they are told, once they are schooled, once someone does try to communicate with them and say, okay, well, you need to be willing to do this, this, or this, they're like, I don't want to do all that. That's why we have the birth of Take Me As I Am. That's why they have y'all don't like natural women anymore. That's why they like they all of these statements are a way to say, I just don't want to do what you're asking me to do. I don't want to do that. Right. And I think that's part of it. I think this is why they think it's weird for married women to talk to them. I think that's why married women, why single women are like, why are married women talking to single women? Why? Because we are trying to give you the keys. Like, didn't you say you wanted to be in a relationship? You said you wanted to be married. You said you wanted that, right? Well, why wouldn't you talk to someone who has those things? And I'm not talking about any old body, but somebody who's successfully married and has the track record. Why wouldn't you want to talk to them? Why wouldn't you want to hear what they think? Why wouldn't you want to get tips from them? Why do you want people like this woman telling you to go into a marriage with a good man, giving him 90%? So that good man can do exactly what Trill said. Go supplement that other 10 with somebody else. Because why wouldn't he? That 10% that you're not willing to give him because you only want to give him 90? There is a woman right now that will take 10% from him and be glad. And that 10% will be more than enough for her. So, yeah, I think that's part of it. I think women don't know. And when they do find out or someone tries to teach them or educate them, a lot of times they're not willing. They're just not willing to do the things. They don't want to do what it takes.
Right. No, I feel that. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm trying to understand that. Because, to Donovan's point or comment that he made, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of power in words, a lot of power in mindset. And it's like, sometimes I wonder, do we understand we may be setting ourselves up for failure, having these mentalities? It's like if somebody is going out trying to, launch a business venture, it's like if you go into it negative, then it's like it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna happen. And it's like, I wonder why we take on these negative positions, but then we want to get in these relationships and then wonder why the stuff falls apart or it breaks down. Like, it's like your mindset jacked up. You ain't even go any right. So yeah, I'm just curious on that. Like I said, just hearing her say that. The other thing I want to say is two pieces. If we're not ready to go in, or essentially if we're not ready to go all in these situations, like, why do we keep talking about marriage? Yeah, like once again, I see a lot of content. If a lot of content these days is about getting married, I'm looking for this guy who does this. I'm looking for this woman who does this. We looking for all these things because it seems, or it appears, we trying to get to a point of being married. But then it's like we got all this nonsense we wanna loop in there and think and expect somehow it's gonna contribute to some type of successful marriage. Like if we already talking about pulling away a percentage, it's like, why you talking about getting married then? You're like, why are you looking for for the other gender and you want to link up and you want them to commit and take care of you? Like, if we already talking about taking away something, it's like, why is marriage even on the table at this point? Because I'm starting to agree with Beatbox. I know Beatbox has said this. He done said this a few times. He done said it a few times. And I was trying not to, man. But the more I see and the more I hear, I'm starting to feel like it's over. Like some of this stuff we saying, it's just like taking away a percentage was not on my list when I was ready to get married. Like that didn't even, I wasn't even thinking that. I'm over here trying to figure out how to bring the money to the situation. I'm trying to figure out housing and who gonna be driving what, and eventually once these kids get here, where they going to school. Like I was thinking what we putting in. But it's like now we in a position, it's like what we gonna take out. And I'm just like how we get to this point? Go ahead, Vince. I see you want to say something. Go ahead, man.
I think first of all, we're not getting married, and I'm talking about the black culture. This is over 50%. This is over the majority. We're not getting married for what marriage is for. First of all, building a family. People coming with family.
True.
They coming with their careers already in line. They coming with their own mindset. So you get 35 and 40, you really looking for a security blanket. That's why the 6 figures is so important. They want some help. They talk all this, I'm strong, they want some help. And men don't want to be alone. So they just keep it 100. You want some help. I don't want to be alone. Let's put that together. But see, we don't want to be honest. I don't need no man. Because smart men get married. You give me a smart man, a successful man, he's probably married or have been married. Because men understand marriage comes along with success. Because it gives us grounding, it gives us purpose, and it gives us a goal when you're married. It's just you and her, and we building this thing together, and we moving on down the line.
Right.
We don't think, we got to get all this before. So with women, they want to get all that before. And some want to have some kids. And so when you get 35, 40, then all of a sudden you want to get married. Because you're tired. Just say you're tired. Just say you want some help. Just say, you know what? I'm not really putting into my 401k like I need to, and I ain't going to be able to survive without somebody else.
That's
Instead
real.
of all this, you ain't independent because let's check your bank account. Let's check your 401k. Let's check your heart. Let's check your mind. You're dying early. You got a bunch of diseases. Your girl tripping. So this is my thing is I don't care what people want. My thing is can you get it and just be honest. Just be like, you know what, I'm 45. I done got these kids or 2 kids. I'm ready to marry somebody and live these 20 years. I ain't independent. I ain't no super boss chick. I ain't smarter than every man because we done with the college and got a little fake piece of paper that ain't about nothing. And let's just keep it 100. You'll actually do better. Just say you need a man. Come with your 50 and my 90. At least I get a little Social Security when you die.
I don't think so, Vince.
I ain't got to depend on these worthless kids I done raised by myself.
Yeah, Vince. No, thank you. Maybe for you older Gen Xers or Boomers, but for millennial men, black men, that's not happening.
Okay. I know men your age, and they're getting married because they understand that.
I'm married. But I'm not marrying a baby mama.
Well, you don't have no kids. That's what I'm saying. You don't have any kids. I'm talking about.
I have
most
3.
Guys your age,
I got 3. I got 3 kids.
You got 3 kids with your wife.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying. You got 3 kids with your wife. That's different. I'm saying if you coming with a kid, she coming with a kid. I mean, when you get older, the chance on you of you meeting a lady over 35 that don't have kids is very small, or over 40. So that's not your life. But I know guys like it 32, 33, and they're marrying their college sweethearts, and they're doing it the right. But I'm talking about a lot of these, because if you look at a lot of these panels, these are older women, older, that's done spent the block.
Yeah, it's over for them. It's over.
Oh my God!
It's over. I'm sorry. If a guy came up to me who was like my age and say, "Hey, beatboxer, I'm in my 30s, and the only woman I'm really running into a baby mama is I'm going to tell him to be by himself for the rest of his life. It's a bad deal. It is a bad deal. And something you did touch on, Vince, but I think this is the bigger problem because I do understand like the, a woman's heart and intentionality and all that, but it's really simple. You come with kids, especially kids outside of wedlock, it's over. It's really that simple for a lot of us. So you're probably the ladies like that. Ladies, no offense, if this is you. You're going to be on a man's roster for the rest of your life, and it's over. You're probably
That's not necessarily true.
A few of you might get married, very few, but most of y'all are going to be on a man's roster.
Let them know that it is an offense to bring another man's child. Okay, let them know it's an offense.
It is. It's over.
Ooh. Yeah, we don't.
Okay, fellas, be honest. I see what it is.
I got a question though. I got a question. Okay, so does this apply to only the men who also don't have any children, right? Or is this just all men in general should not marry single mothers? Because some men also have kids. They have kids. So are we saying that the men with kids should also avoid single mothers?
Yes. Why?
Yes.
Why?
But they don't care though.
Yes.
Let's not go act like that.
Okay, so let's mine this out because I'm just curious. I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to mine this out. So you're saying that you want a woman who has not had any children of her own to be willing to accept your child that you have had with another woman because you have a child. She doesn't, because you don't want to marry a single mother. So that means she don't have no kids. So she doesn't have any kids, but you're saying that you want her to accept your child with another woman, but you will not accept a child that she's had with another man.
It's a trap, fellas. It's a trap. Don't I answer the question? Abort.
JR, go first, bro. You go first, JR.
Yeah, like I said, now welcome to the world of deducting, right? I don't want none of your kids, but they'll be mine. That's less numbers, right? Give me 100%, I might father your kids.
But I'm gonna say this, Bo, but that woman has better options than you.
Which is
right, because she doesn't have any kids.
Why? And she's fine and she's young. Then why would she want you unless you got plenty of money? Now, if you
that part
double six figures can take care of everybody, you Eddie Murphy.
Because she don't have right. In this case,
okay, but if you just a regular smuggler,
they're not thinking that way.
If you're a regular smuggler dude, they think women struggling to pay your child support, she got better options than you.
I mean, even if you are a guy that got, you got something going for yourself. I'm not even gonna say you in that particular situation. Even if you got something going for yourself, she still could look at it the same way you would look at it if you were in her shoes. She could absolutely be looking at it like, wait a minute, I waited to have kids. Like, I don't have any kids. Why do I want to deal with your kid drama, whatever? Like, why do I want to deal with that? Like,
guess what, Miss Coco?
See if I can get better because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's my point. Like, so we are saying that there's no, that there's no scenario where a single mom, because I'm just asking because I do think it's a valid question, right? Like,
she's got to be exceptional.
You're trying to use logic in that. You're trying to use logic in an illogical situation. Because let's take, for example, the most obvious example, Jeremy Meek. The dude was in prison. He didn't have any money. What he had was his appearance. And even though a lot of men would like to don't admit it, he ended up getting with a billionaire. Broke. Came out being a model. Sometimes, and the vice versa for the women. If a woman is good enough, what's a woman equivalent? Sierra. She had a baby by a guy who everyone said, we don't want her. Yeah, but Russell got with her. And Russell's a top dude. So it depends on the individual. So if a woman, the point is if a woman or man has a child, and you could say that's a burden or that's an extra little whatever. A woman who doesn't have a child or a man who doesn't have a child will look at that situation and go, well, I still want her anyway. That's not logical.
That's a
So,
beta
oh,
male.
what you're saying is logic, but unfortunately, when it comes to whatever love, relationships, the feelings you have for someone, all that goes out the window when you come across a woman that is your type, that she does it for you, or she comes with one or two of them. All right. So a lot of people will accept lesser, or they'll take on that and say, because I love this woman, I love these kids. Because I love this man, I love these kids as well. So it's not going to work if she or he doesn't want the child or doesn't like the guy. She has to be in love with the guy. He has to be in love with the woman for him to want to take on that extra set of miles in the house.
Oh my God.
I mean, I get it. My only point was this.
Ugh.
This is my only point,
Well,
right? I don't want to get too deep
hold
into it.
on. Let me give you my example. Let me right quick. I was in that situation at 24, straight out of college, had a good job, but the ladies that I wanted had better options. So that's not sit up here and cap and be like, well, she ain't got no better. Yes, she did. So I was in that situation, and yeah, they fucked around with me, and I had sex. But they say, you know what? I don't want your kid. I don't care, because I can get you without no kids.
Did you
But it
accept
got
it?
better for me as I got older. I made more money. They start having kids, start having divorces. Then my stacks got better because the situation got better. So I don't know if we can cap, because that lady you talk about without no kids and she fine, she can do better than you because she can get your boss.
Vince, you still had sex with her though, bro.
Understood. You still hit.
You had sex
But
with her. You still hit it.
my question
What are you
is,
talking about?
Just
my
like the
question
chicks is
is,
gonna hit, but they weren't gonna marry me.
no, understood.
I went
I'm saying my question is, did you accept that?
What'd you say?
Did you accept those parameters that you're only sleep with them, they might not take you serious, and you're not gonna marry them? Did you accept that?
Yeah, for some
Okay,
of them.
understood.
Yeah, of course I did.
You understand the
Of course
language.
I did.
So because
But I'm
we
a
as
man
men
too.
understand the
It's a little
language,
different.
also understand if you have a child as a woman, I have a better option than you.
So okay, so then the woman has that
If you don't have
Accept
any,
it that I'm gonna
if you
sleep
don't have
with
any kids,
you
then I
and I
tell my
won't marry you.
no.
Accept it.
Okay, so then
I
the
tell my
woman has
Comments like this is why I feel like, man, you really don't deserve kind of God's power of having the ability to
And
choose
that's why you
and
should never
have the
take care
access to
of the
marriage.
kids.
Because I can't.
Never
No,
do
I
wait.
that, guys.
can't.
Well,
There's
a lot of times we be capping those. See, I'm not gonna sit
no,
up here and let us get up here and cap,
Vince,
because
you got
my
me
thing
hit,
is,
bro.
this: the lady that you would want who don't have no kids, she got options too. So all I'm saying is that,
She believes it.
we can't sit up here and say, well,
she
okay,
does.
She
she
does.
got better
She
options.
She
does have
does.
That's
She
the
options.
absolutely
delusional part.
does.
That's the
She
delusional
definitely
part.
does.
If
She
you
may not
have
say it to your face, but she
if
knows.
neither one of y'all have kids, then that's something different. I
Right,
tell my son, don't sleep with a woman that got kids, because you ain't got none, and
right.
you don't need that struggle. And in fact, get your own family.
As you should.
Yes.
As
Now,
you
if he had a
should.
kid or two, how I'm gonna tell him don't date nobody with no
Exactly.
kids
Y'all,
when he's
all I'm
struggling,
saying,
and he
all
probably
I'm
need a wife to
saying,
help him go 50-50.
okay.
So I mean, I know we all up sitting up here capping, and I mean, come on now, we ain't the best thing since sliced bread.
Okay.
We know that as men. They don't think that, do they?
And you talking, and you hear from someone who thinks he's the shit. But I know it's people better than me, it's people worse than me. If I want a 10, then I gotta have 10 money, I gotta have 10 personality, I gotta have 10 swag.
Understood.
But do women
Go
know
ahead,
that,
Nico.
Vince?
Did they know that?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
that's
Nico.
exactly. A lot of women don't. And the thing. So, Coco, let me answer your question with this, because it is hypocritical if a
It
man
is.
who has right. But the issue is that a lot of women will date men with kids and marry
Okay.
them. Vince, you're a prime example, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Women will do it. Men won't. Men won't do it in general.
Men won't do what?
Men will not marry women with children. In
I
general.
don't think that's
In
true. I
general.
don't think that's
That's
true.
not true.
That's
If the
the
woman,
you think the
Maybe
average man
you're-
wait. You think the average man in America is marrying women with children.
You'd be surprised.
If he had, okay,
yeah,
let's have some parameters, B-Box. Let's have some parameters.
There's a lot of that going on,
We're
guys,
talking
because
about
he has
men
children
with
himself.
children.
Yeah.
Men with children.
Yeah.
Most of them, I think, because they're probably average men, average looking, average earning. They'll probably marry somebody that has kids.
Yes.
Because a woman that does not have kids has a better option than him with kids.
Yeah, listen, we might be living in a different place.
No, we're a different age. I get it.
And I might be looking at different stats, but the average man is not with baby mamas. That's not what's going on out here.
I wouldn't say average, but there is a small group that still thinks that they have kids, that they still have the option to pick somebody without. I will say this.
I'm just saying that it's happening. I
wouldn't say average, but small group.
I don't have a percentage for you guys. I don't have a percentage, but it is happening. Men with children are marrying women who also have children, right? Because they're sort of on equal footing. He has a kid or two. She has a kid or two. So both of them are accepting their situations. He's accepting hers and she's accepting his. I guess that's why I asked the question to begin with, right? Because if you are someone who's bringing a child into the situation, then I guess I don't have any kids, right? As a woman, I know men like to put themselves in this position, like men are just always somehow magically on top, regardless of whatever their circumstances is. But the truth of the matter is, you having a child as a man is a mark against you. It is a mark. It is a negative mark. And if she's a woman that's done her due diligence to not put herself in that situation, she's kept herself up, she's kept herself clean, she's kept herself together, then she absolutely does not have to take your child. Just because she has options too. She's not over here just like, I'm so like she has options because like you just said, the men are looking for her because she doesn't have a child. So men are looking for her because they don't want the chicks that do have kids. So she actually does have options because y'all are all telling each other not to marry the ones with kids. So now the ones without kids are looking a whole lot more desirable for that very reason. So it is. I guess this is something I'll never understand. Men say that they are logical. And this is one thing that y'all just cannot properly explain to me. It just doesn't make sense. And I'm somebody who is objective. Like I get why as a man who doesn't have kids, you don't want to marry a woman with kids. Like it makes total sense to me. But as a man with kids, I just don't. I'm scratching my head like, wait, what? You want her to accept the situation? You're not willing to accept hers? Like, that's so unfair. Like, why go into an uneven, unfair situation like that? That's like when women come on Kendra and be like, yeah, I got 4 kids, but I would prefer if he didn't have any. Like, girl, what? Oh, let Kendra draw you a man. Kendra, draw her a man.
Yeah, I think I said, go ahead, Cole. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Cole.
If what Coco said is not true, why is the question of do you have kids one of the top 3 questions a guy asks a woman on a date?
Gee, I ain't trying to father those kids. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Good question.
Yeah.
Instinct. If you have a kid, if I get with you, if I like you enough, do I have to deal with the guy? We're thinking about the guy. How present is he in your life? Are you still sleeping with? Like, it's a lot of different things that goes beyond just do you have a kid? It's a lot of things behind it.
No, I can't.
Hold on one sec, Vince. Just to respond to this, I just want to add some context. I think there's a few things mixed up in here. One of the things that's mixed up in this particular topic right here is money. People are willing to do a lot of things when it involves money. Yeah, so you have situations where females, she may not have any kids, and she will get with a dude with kids if he got money, if he can take care of the situation. She will definitely sign up. Now, I'm not saying that that's all women out here, but women will sign up if this dude got money and resources. On the flip side, there's going to be situations where guys will get with a woman with kids. Now, to Beatbox's point earlier, I think that she has to be a special woman. So she's got to be bringing certain things to the situation that he sees in her. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, but I know she has some kids, but her heart is right. Her mind is right. She take care of your boy. She treat me right. Like she that one. So guys are gonna, you know what I'm saying? Guys are gonna get into those situations because this woman is a special woman, right? So there's a couple things mixed up in here, but the last piece is it is definitely a double standard. It's a double standard mixed up in here. Let's just be honest. Yeah, because at the end of the day, a lot of these dudes that's impregnating these women will then come back and say they don't want a chick with kids. And it's just like you just got a chick pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Right. But now you're talking about you don't want to be with a chick with kids. And it's like you just contributed to the pool. So let's say there's a few things wrapped up in here. If we're gonna keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying, about what's actually going on. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of double standard wrapped up in there. And like I said, we got to keep it, we got to keep it real about this situation. But I understand where y'all coming from right here. Let me get this comment, then I'm gonna come back. Kenyatta said, let's see, I am a widow here. So Kenyatta said she is a widow. I have 3 sons and he has 0 children. And then she came back and said she's talking about Donovan.
Keyword, widow. She was married.
No, so right. So that's valid as well.
A certain type of quality, right? That a man valid as well in her, right?
Yeah, no, that's valid as well, JR.
Does that make sense? But that's not like these women.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like I said, once again, that's another piece that's in there. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, to be honest, you know what I'm saying, just for the ladies, most men out here, they look at women differently that have been married. So men value women who have been married and may be divorced or may be widowed. They value them differently than they value single women who just out here doing any old kind of thing. Like, they value them differently. So the titles are different. So to JR's point, it's just for ladies, just ladies understand. This is how some dudes look at this. Yeah, but if a woman says that she was married to a man for 10 years and they had 2-3 kids and they got a divorce and they separated, a new man comes along, he's going to look at her differently than a woman who has multiple kids and has never been married. Like, we got to be honest. That's what's going on out here. So let's say we just got to keep that in mind. Let's say that's how a lot of guys look at it. So yeah, a widow or a woman who's been divorced and she explains to the man what happened in the marriage and why it broke apart and this and that. A lot of guys can work with that, especially if he's got some kids too. And y'all about to mesh up y'all kids together. And he like, you know what? I understand my marriage didn't work out. Yours didn't work out. Let's go ahead and see if we can make it work out together. A lot of dudes today, especially if he grown like that, and especially if he might be a little older, he'll take that deal. So yeah, we got to be honest. But yeah, that's what's going on out here. But let me keep us going. I see man, there's all type of little stuff going on. I see Cole in the background. His back chat going hot. Going on in the back. Let me go to video number. I just looked over here. I see all type of stuff going on.
Cole's flaming us in the back chat. Cole's flaming.
I see it. Let me go to this next video. I got a couple in here. Let me go to this next one.
He don't got money like you at ESCG.
Why don't he?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's why I had it.
Just because he ain't had no money, you left him?
Had to.
That ain't right. I don't like that.
If he's making more money than me, if I'm making more money than him,
You should help him get some more money.
How am I going to do that, though? If I have my own career, I'm doing what I'm doing.
A woman's supposed to be a helpmate.
I feel like a man is supposed to be that for a girl.
A man's supposed to be a leader.
You right.
You're supposed to help him be a better leader.
I don't know. So I was in the wrong. Now I'm the bad guy. I'm always the bad guy.
Why you looking for a daddy?
I ain't looking for a daddy. I got my own money. My own money. I could do what I do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need a guy for money.
But you want one.
I want a man to be stable. If I was to leave him, I want him to
So he wasn't stable?
He was okay, but I was making more than him.
So he was stable though.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So why are you leaving then? You said you just want.
Because he wasn't doing better than me. I need a guy doing better than me, and if he's not doing better than me, then
I guess
everybody's different. Everybody's different. I just feel like that's.
All right.
Bro, what?
That's another one that came my way. So I need somebody to explain this to me. Cole, I'm coming to you, Cole.
Yep, she's stupid.
Why? Well, okay, so explain that to me. Why is she stupid? Because this is the craziest stuff I done
Because
heard
you're
recently.
talking about this whole thing about money. So here's the thing when it comes to money, right? First of all, the aspect that keeps saying, okay, he's not doing better than me. What does that mean? If you want to go that route, then talk about like the real income after the debts, or if he has investments. If you really want to talk about it, but all she's talking about is the hard working income she has. What if he has income in other ways that don't mean hard labor? Like, I don't understand this discussion. Also, you could have took whatever extra money you had and invested, or y'all both could invest it or something. Like it'll spend differently. I don't like. To me, she sounds stupid because the mindset is not there. You're just talking about, okay, what you get up and earn every day. Money can translate different ways.
Right.
So again, another conversation I would not be near.
So let me ask you this, because there was some comments under this video, and the person was making the point that some of the ladies today are concerned about the aesthetics. They're concerned about the aesthetics of what somebody is gonna say about, you know what I'm saying, what they man might be making, or if he making more than her and this and that. So it's an aesthetic thing versus just pure function. This dude is a good dude. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy. He may be making a little less than me salary wise, but this dude is taking care of me. He doing this, he doing that. So is it aesthetics, or is it just really a problem for a woman to be with a man who's making less money than her?
I mean, I think it's both, but it wouldn't be aesthetic if you knew how to stay your ass in the house.
That's the key. Most women don't want to. Most women don't want to be average. They want to be the exception. They want to be exceptional. They want to travel, jet set around the world, be with the guy who's making all this money,
If
do
you
the things.
laid your ass in the house, you wouldn't be
That's not what
worried
most
about
women.
all that.
Most women don't want that. They go on Instagram and they see all these other women doing all these seemingly amazing things in their life with men who have the means. And so you got
That's
all these women who
Instagram,
want a
but that's
man.
social media.
But Joe,
Social
we know
that's
that.
media.
aesthetics. Ain't that aesthetics though?
That's aesthetic.
Social media. Social media.
Yeah.
People can't
Meaning
decipher
it's not
truth
real.
from fiction.
It's not real.
Can we break it down, please?
It's not
Social
real.
media
Media
is
is literally
created.
a show. It is not real. It's
I get
not
that.
real.
But you guys
And
are talking about people who don't have the maturity that we have and the understanding that we know how to decipher between the two. We know
But
what's entertainment and what's not.
y'all showing that this is like the collective now. This is the problem. This is the
right.
problem. Y'all showing that this is like the collective thing.
I just don't think. Here's the thing, Joe. Like where you're coming from, I understand, and where you're coming from, I agree with you, which is the sentiment, right? However, I just don't think that we can use these things as an excuse anymore.
You can't.
Like social media is everything that we say it is. It is poisonous. It is toxic. It is all of the things that we say it is. There's pros and cons, though. We also can use the platform. Like we're on a platform.
Social
right?
media.
This is considered social media. So it's not about throwing the whole thing away, right? Because there's pros and cons. It's how you use it. But at the end of the day, we cannot use this as an excuse anymore. Go outside and touch grass. Look at the people around you. And I'm speaking this to any woman who feels like aesthetic is so important to her that she's ready to leave a relationship because of it. The people around you, look at the people around you. That's your tribe.
That's right.
You are not better than them. They are not better than you. So you can look at social media and you can see all of these seemingly wonderful lives that are going on, but IRL, look at the people around you. Look at the places you go, the car you drive, the house you live in. That's your life, right? That's your lane. So stop trying to compare your life and your lane to somebody else because you don't actually know what's going on. How many times do we have to hear about the women that's getting on the platform telling y'all, do this like me and you're going to get skinny? They come to find out she done had 360 lipo.
Ozempic.
She on GLP-1s. She done went and got, the fat sucked out of her stomach and pumped into her behind, and she got a shelf. And you like, dang, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing what you said do, sis. Why I'm not getting skinny? Because you didn't go see Dr. Booty. You skipped the step.
Oh,
I had a lady get on there. I was following her. Oh, I'm like, yes, this diet. I'm doing a real diet. And she come on here telling me something. Yeah, you guys are not gonna get the same results that I got because I was willing to go above and beyond. And then I saw that side picture profile, and I said, "Oh, I know what above and beyond mean. I see that little lip on the back of your buckets. I know where that come from. That ain't natural." So it's like, while y'all are following these people, you don't understand. You have no idea what they're doing behind the scenes in order to make their lives look like that. They post once a week, but every post they on a boat. Every post they somewhere shopping. Every post they on another trip. They only post 4 times a month. So it's easy for them every time you see them, they're doing something fabulous. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. They showing you 4 days out of a year. And you think that this is their life all the time. And now you're measuring your life and your man and your children and your circumstances. We cannot use this as an excuse anymore. Like, as women, like, we cannot use this as an excuse anymore. And I think that's where I'm at. I'll land.
I got a question though. Do they have these conversations amongst same sex? If you look at 2 lesbians, does it matter who makes?
Of course not,
the lesbian women, the lesbian women are complaining too, Vince.
They divorced, they divorced
about money.
Yes, the lesbian women are saying, they are saying that we
or
didn't
gay
share
men.
it.
I don't know. I don't really.
They didn't share it we didn't share our last show. We were going to talk about it, but we just didn't get time. Women are getting on social media saying, wow, I date women, and I never knew until I started dating women how entitled we are as women.
No, I'm not talking about that.
And how no matter what I do, it's never enough. And they always want more.
Bad people.
They always want more.
But
so even
not what I mean,
a female relationship, what I'm saying is, even in a female relationship, they're saying that the women are saying even another woman isn't meeting the standards that she set for herself. Like, this other woman cannot meet the standards that she has for herself as a woman. Mm-hmm. So she's like, even the stuff that I'm doing for her, the money that I'm spending on her and what I'm doing is not enough. And that's the same thing that they're saying to men, that no matter what this man is doing, it's not enough.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because if you look at it, and this is my opinion, most women do not want to spend their own money. That's why this 6 figures thing is so important, because if it was really 50-50 and if it was really partnerships, as long as he's self-sufficient, it shouldn't matter. But that's the first thing you hear, because women really don't want to spend their money. Just like with Cole. Cole will not accept a man that makes $30,000. Because she'll say, "Oh, I can get him to be the manager at McDonald's. I can get him to own some real estate." No, he makes $30,000, and that is all he will ever make.
He's got to be 6 feet
Will
too.
you accept?
No,
that?
he don't.
Listen.
It's not going to happen.
Listen, let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. One second, Mr. Vince.
That's fine.
Hold on.
Mr. Vince.
That's fine.
Let's just keep it. Listen.
She's not going to $30,000.
No. Let's just keep it as simple as this. Yeah, it's as simple as this, Mr. Vince. I understand, right? Women are going to demand money. We accept that as men. Whether you can make it or not,
Hold on.
It is what it is. We accept that.
I appreciate
right?
that. Hold on.
But here's what it is. Men date women, and men are having bad experiences. Women are dating fake men, and are also having bad experiences, Mr. Vince.
I get that.
There's one common denominator here. One, not two. One,
I
one,
like the British.
Mr. Vince. Right?
Women.
And I think it's just a case of we just need to just accept, right? Accept it for what it is. Let's not sugarcoat it, okay? The bad people, Mr. Vince. Bad people. Let's not sugarcoat it, okay? The queen,
No.
Dog, my side hurt, bro.
the queen of fake men, right? For the ones that know I'm talking about came out, right? The queen of fake men that hate us, right? That women are supposedly gods, queens, whatever they are. She came out and said the bad people, Mr. Vince.
Who you talking about? Who?
Obviously, I don't know if I can
Priscilla?
drop names, but
You talking about Priscilla?
yeah.
Who is that? Who's
Oh,
You don't
No,
want to. You
she-
don't want to know, Vince.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's a young lady who dated women, and like I said, she dated women, and then she came out because she used to speak against men.
Oh,
Yeah, and
but
then
that
she-
might be a little for the gram too. I know you're talking about.
No, I know
She
I know it's
attractive
probably
as a
some
woman.
Yeah, I know it's probably some stuff.
Yeah,
I know it's probably some
whatever.
stuff mixed up in there, but it's just the
Yeah,
fact
she might,
that
she might go over the top, right? But just
But-
one example.
but
one second.
I don't
Just
want
one
to be
example. One
stereotypical,
example.
but
right?
most
Mr. Vince,
lesbian
one second,
women
Mr. Vince,
are
Mr. Vince,
more
one second.
masculine than men.
Mr.
Most
Vince,
lesbian,
go on.
most lesbian women work harder than men.
No,
They want to be a
I'm not
man
going
more
to
than a
dispute
man.
that. I'm not going to dispute that, Mr.
Yeah,
Vince.
they do.
No,
They
I
had
said,
their
I'm not.
girl in the best.
No, listen, I'm not going to dispute that they
Lesbian
work harder
women?
than most men. Yeah, they have to overcompensate because they're not a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? They have to overcompensate. So they
Mhm.
don't work harder than me. They just have to overcompensate. That's what it
Mhm.
is. But all I'm saying is, yeah, the same thing that men are experiencing from women, these fake men are also experiencing that. Let's just leave it there. There's no more to it. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
These women today are very, very bad people, Mr. Vince. That's
I
it.
guess, I guess you got a broad. You're a rising, sir. I mean, I'm 30 years older than you, and I've had some bad experiences. I have. I've had people lie to me. I had people use me. I done been through that child support thing. I done been through it all. But
You should be on his side there, Vince.
How about?
no, because I take accountability for the part that I played in it, though. See,
No,
that's
we
what I'm
understand
saying.
that.
I
But
take
guess
accountability
what?
for the
Most
part that
men
I
don't have
played.
to.
I can't put it all on the woman if I'm out here cheating, or if I'm not out here doing what I need to do as a man.
No, we understand what men have to do, right? But hey,
Mhm.
just say hello to a woman. Yeah, hey, you'll get some bad stank-ass attitude, Mr. Vince.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess
just
that's
to
your experience, bro. I guess
but
that's
to
back
add
to
some.
code. Can she accept that 30?
Yeah,
forever?
okay, so back to the topic. Yeah, because I want to let the double team go. So hold on. The quickest response at the top to beatbox for the 15 billion time, and the public already knows. I specifically said I can deal with the man that I look up to. He does not have to be 6 feet. And I will continue to say, to say
You said 30.
like
You
that.
said
Cole, we talking about that 30. We talking
I'm
about 30, Cole.
5'7", so as long as I look up to him, it's fine.
No, we not talking about
he
height,
could be
Cole.
5'8".
Vince is-
Yes.
No. We
I
not
mean,
about to do that.
I don't believe that. I don't believe he can be
No.
5'8", Cole.
No, we not going. Nope, we ain't about to
Okay,
breeze over that. So
maybe
we coming
5'9"
back.
because I had heels, but I don't wear high heels. So
No.
5'8",
See,
8 and a
exactly.
half would
See,
probably
exactly.
work.
See, I
Come
know
on,
it.
no, we
I know it.
come on back, Cole. No. We ain't about to
What?
breeze over that. Vince asked you a direct question. Is you
How-
about
I
to
did-
accept the dude making 30,000?
You did not hear my first comment. I said the quickest response first, which is why I went to beatboxer first. You ain't hear me say that. You did not hear me say that. You ain't hear me say that.
What was your answer? I must have missed it. You accepting the 30,000?
I didn't answer it yet. I said I'm gonna respond to the quickest thing first, and that was beatboxer's forever
Okay. All right,
comment.
we waiting. All right, come on, we waiting.
Address the height
Okay.
and not the money question. That's hilarious. We're
That's
waiting for the money
That's
question.
not what
That's
I
what
said.
we
I
want.
said I was gonna address the quickest thing first. Lord, y'all ain't hear me.
Go ahead, Cole. We listen. We listening. Go ahead.
All right,
All
to
in.
Vince's question. So he said,
That's
"Thank you.
stalling
Can I
now.
get some backup, please? Thank you."
Stalling.
Okay, to your $30,000 question. Do you do you really think that's like the 30K gonna work in this economy
I
currently?
Is that a yes or
I
no?
knew it. I knew it. I knew
Currently,
what you're gonna say. I knew it. I knew it.
currently. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
Yeah. See, I knew it.
There
I knew
are
it.
there are people who are living off of $30,000.
Okay, you
That's
know what? Let me
fine.
ask this question.
I would
I got a
have to
question, Cole.
really see how that 30K look in this
Cole,
economy because that
Cole,
look
live in
real
Michigan.
rough.
Let
Live
me
in
ask this.
Michigan.
Let me ask this. Hold on. Let me ask this. I gotta take this off of us for a minute. So Cole, answer me this. Answer me this. Why don't Paco had his problem?
Oh my God!
Don't bring him into it. I don't know their problems. I don't know their
I'm just
problems.
being honest. I'm being honest. Why don't
I
Paco
will say,
eat the grass? Why he don't have his problem?
I will say because they still got a sense of community and we don't.
That's
Okay, so then
That's it.
no.
That is it. That
That's
is
excuse.
it. You
No,
still
that's
got a sense
wrong.
of community and we don't.
No.
Okay,
no,
but okay, wait,
no,
hold on.
no.
Who don't have a sense of community?
No.
No.
We
No.
We
So
don't.
we
Have you?
okay, hold on. One
No.
second.
Who?
No.
But
Who,
to
Miss
be
Cole?
fair, I don't disagree that they do have a sense of community. Okay, I give y'all that. But I just said we not making excuses anymore. So my next thing to that would be, but this is men and women, right? The community in Paco's house is him, his wife, and their kids. That's the community in his house. That's the only part.
His grandmama too.
Them the
And
only
his mama.
people he responsible for spending his money on, right? That's what we're talking about right now. Why is Senorita okay with Paco's income and living within the means of Paco's income? And why is that okay for them?
Because they need their men. They've been raised to need their men. So it does go back to culture. Our women are raised to, you can do it by yourself. You don't need your man. Your daddy wasn't there. Your granddaddy ain't there. You can be happy by yourself. Jesus is your husband.
But when you knew better,
That's
you
our
knew better.
problem.
But when
No,
you knew
you
better,
don't.
you knew better.
No, you don't, because you
do
don't know
that
better.
all your whole life.
I
You
listen to
can't
people.
hold on to that your whole life.
I'm not saying you hold on to it. What I'm saying is, you could own. I truly believe that if you can't really be what you haven't seen, and that's our problem. We get
You
these.
can
Well, let
learn
me finish.
better,
Let me finish.
though.
Coco. We get these narratives in our mind. Well, even when we talk about the older generation, it's always daddy had another family around the block. That's why grandmama stayed. That's not necessarily true. Grandmama stayed because she wanted her family together.
Okay.
But that's not the narrative if you ask anybody, well, why women stay married for 30 years? Well, she couldn't get a bank account. She couldn't do this. She couldn't do that. Yes, she could. She could. She didn't want to. We have a culture of separate. That's why we got to have, let me finish, Coco. That's when we talk about black issues. It's got to be black women. You don't hear Mexican women. You just hear Mexican, Asian. It ain't a special program for they women. But we're separate. We're not one people as black. It's black men and black women.
Well, that's not true, Vince.
That's why we got to have BT women.
That's not true, bro.
Well, I can't. Well,
I think it's partly true.
That's true. That
You do
we
know
raise now we have issue where we have more baby showers than we have weddings, and people, we just think it's okay.
Sure.
Oh,
so
you don't have to get married. You don't have to have no husband.
So does Paco.
I can't.
Paco's our birth rate's worse than black women's. What
No,
we
it's
talking
not.
about? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a
They're
little
having
bit
babies
worse.
out of wedlock.
Let's say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's
Okay, but
just
what
as
are their
bad as
marriage
Konvos.
rates? Their marriage rates are higher than black people. Their marriage
So
rates.
what? The men are stupid. Why would you marry baby mamas? They're dumb. Congratulations, Paco. You married a baby mama. That's not. I wouldn't.
That is a narrative. It is
That's not something you should
that
be
is a
proud of.
narrative.
I got a woman with 2 baby mamas.
Then also they get married younger. That's why I believe that we need to start getting married younger so we can build together so our value is not $1. But when you done lived your whole life for 40, 50 years, value is going to be money for a man.
Yeah,
But
That's
no,
that's
exactly what
the
I need you
point.
for.
But I
And
so
guess
for
I
you,
when do you learn out of that? That's also like the question
y'all
that I have.
don't.
It's like, yes,
Y'all not gonna
you
do
can
it.
learn up to a certain point, but at
Right.
you saying at no point you don't think to look and reflect the other way, and I'm
Right.
starting to believe that's
Let me ask the
true.
question.
I
Let me
am
ask
That's
the
starting
the
to
question.
believe
point
that's
that
true. Some
I'm
people
making.
really ain't looking, reflecting, and thinking different. It's like
Mm-mm.
I'm just at this point, and I am. You're still making a choice, but you're choosing to constantly just ignore the other way.
That's what I'm saying. At what point do we stop using this as an excuse? I'm not saying that your circumstances do not have any bearings on the decisions that you make. Obviously, we know that they do. Okay. But at what point do you look around and go, this isn't working? It's not working. Okay, I got to do something different. Like, why are we still doing the same thing and expecting different results? Like, we can't keep using it as an excuse. We can't keep saying, oh, Black people are separated. But yes, okay, we understand that. But that's Black people. Maybe you're not going to be able to change the entire community, but you can change your situation, right? So you
Yeah.
should be looking at your circumstances and your situation and saying, what do I need to do differently? If I don't like the way things are going, what can I do? I feel like we spending too much time make like it's like, okay, you grew up in a household where y'all ate hog mogs and turkey necks and everything, and now your back is big. Okay, I get it. All right. But now you're older. Okay. And now there's all this information on the internet of diets and things that you can do. There's all of these things you can do now. So do you just keep eating the hog maws and the turkey necks? Or do you say, you know what? I need to eat differently. I need to exercise now. I need to because I see that there's a better way to do this, right? Like you're not, I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, Vince. I'm just simply saying at what point do we say, okay, this was my circumstance, but I can change my circumstance. I don't have to keep doing the same thing. I feel like sometimes as Black people, we just make a lot of excuses so
Definitely.
that we can
Amen.
Too.
continue to
Too many.
do
Amen.
what we want because we don't, once again, like we said last week, we don't want to do the work.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that's what I mean, Coco. What I'm saying is there's not enough people who are going to push change. The church used to
Mm.
push change. Change your life. Get saved. Follow God. Now it's just do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we have to push the right thing. But I think it, just like y'all said, I think it's just like I said, it's over for a lot of us. I mean, I like this show. I like talking to y'all, and maybe one person will get it, but people don't. I don't think people want to change. I think it's too much of this. You know, people don't want to say, look in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to be a better person. Men don't want to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to be a man that a woman can respect. If that's what you want, if you want a wife,
yeah, no, that's
you know what I'm
valid,
saying.
man.
So yeah, so we got to take accountability. But I think for women, I get it. It's hard. I mean, you just ain't gonna respect a man that make a whole lot less than you. He in your house driving your car. It's just, and then he ain't gonna feel a certain way. It's just
Mm.
Yeah,
not
He
the
not.
same. It's just not
but
the
see
same.
that right there
Not
though, Vince. See,
though.
that's what I'm talking about though. See that right there. Um, just because this man is making less than this woman, it doesn't mean that it's her house.
Yeah, it
It
does.
doesn't.
It
No,
dang does. That's
what you
her
mean
house.
by that?
Uh,
If she bought if that deed say Cole whatever, that's her house.
No, what I'm saying is so okay. So let's just say this young lady, she making 100, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy's making 60. He might already have his own house. So
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
yeah,
if
I
he
got you.
move in with her,
No,
if
I
he's
got you. I
driving
got you.
her car.
I
Now,
got you.
I'm
But
talking
see,
about if it's
that's
a big difference. I ain't talking about a couple $1,000s.
no, I got you. I got you. I got you.
I'm
I think
talking
in
to.
that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think in that situation, that's a different type of man. Maybe even the man that's making the 60 and she making the 100, he might be the type of man. He ain't moving into no chick house. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a different mentality type of man that's moving into some female's house. So I'm against that anyway. So I'm not even talking about that dude.
Okay.
But I'm like, we so aesthetics driven. Like I said, it's always funny to me, man. Listen, I always, I use this Paco example, but it's like I actually see this. Like this little Mexican restaurant that I go in all the time. I'm not even making this up. and I go in there and I see Paco in there. Paco 5'6", 5'7". You know, Consuela, she 5'4", 5'5",
4'11".
Right. And my man and right.
Yo.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. And Paco, he getting out his pickup truck, you know what I'm saying? He got his lawnmowers in the back. And it's like she just happily walking with her husband and she, you know, they getting their little groceries and they little you know, tortillas and whatever they getting in there, doing their thing, got their little kids with them. And they like this, just the happiest little unit. Then it's like I look at us and it's like we can't even get off the ground because the female is making 100 and he making 80. Like she just can't do it. And then we can't get off the ground because she 5'4" normally, but then she 5'7" with heels on, and then we can't get off the ground because he ain't 6'2", and it's just like I look at all of this stuff, and then I look at these other communities, and I'm like, they out here doing their thing. Yeah, they out here married. They over here barbecuing, family outings, little kids running around, everybody smiling, doing what they doing. And it's like, as Black folks, we can't get off the ground because we so stuck on aesthetics. It's like going back to the young lady in the video. My man straight questioned her. Was my man stable? Yeah, he was all right. But then be like, well, yeah, but you still cut my man loose. Like, why you do that? You just said the man just need to be stable and you rocking with him. But my man was stable and you still cut him off. Well, he got to be doing better than me. And it's like, okay, but now because of that attitude, you still going to be sitting up here at this radio station single with this pink hair and whatever else you got going on. And you literally had a decent dude that was entertaining you. And it's like this is the mentality today. And I'm not saying it's all the ladies, because I'm not about to run this nonsense across all the ladies. It's not all the ladies, but this stuff is permeating through the community. If we're gonna be honest about it, yep, this is the mentality. I can't respect this man if he making less than me. I can't be with this man if he making less than me. And this dude loving the pants off this woman, but because of his salary at the current moment, and that's not even saying that he gonna stay there. Because of his current salary at the moment, you willing to pass up on this dude that might be your dude because that's his salary at the moment. And see, my question to that would be, okay, so for the woman making 100 and he making the 60, you and your job, he and his job, what happens next week when he get promoted to VP? And now he pass you up. Should he then bounce you out and let you go?
Yeah.
No, let's keep it a buck. But see, what I know is most females, they will be mad if he did that to them.
No.
If he was making less than them and then he got promoted and passed them up financially, then they will be mad if he left her because she was making less.
Well, let me ask you a question, Quinn.
Go ahead.
Now, would he treat her the same if he made less or more? He probably treats her the same.
Of course.
Because she is giving him maybe in a healthy marriage. I'm gonna say a healthy marriage. She's giving him the nurturing that he needs. So it doesn't matter. So I don't think that happens with men because we're naturally providers, protectors. But now, if she's used to being the boss, then yeah, he might trade her in for somebody who's more cooperative.
No, I get that. I get that. But yeah, I get that. But I'm saying it would have to be something extreme because a dude is not typically going to do that because he's not driven off of the money.
Right.
Yep. And that's the point that I'm trying to drive home to the women. It's like you passing up on a person because of their salary at the moment. You're not thinking long term.
But you can't think, but see, Quay, you can't think long term when you 40. If he ain't got about 40, he ain't gonna get it. So you need to be okay with it. That's all I'm saying. That's all he gonna make. But these ladies be like, I'm gonna help him start a business, I'm gonna help him do that. No. If he's a garbage man, if he want to be a garbage man and he's built his life on being a garbage man, accept him as a garbage man. But these ladies, if they a social worker, then they done got their masters in social work, and they got their little business on the side. They get then you're gonna try to change this man at 45. See, at 22, it's different, Quay. That's why I'm saying you need to get married younger. so you can build together. But by the time you 45, it's over. If you ain't made it by 45, what you gonna do? What you
said
gonna hit the
if a
stock
woman
market
hasn't made it,
for it?
or you said if a woman hasn't made it, or if a man hasn't made it by 45?
If a man hasn't made it by 45, I don't know what you think he gonna do to where it's gonna make that big of a difference.
I don't know this, because I feel like men, as long as that man, I get what you're saying though, okay, but I just feel like as long as that man has skills, or knows,
but they would have
has
matricularized
knowledge
by
or
40,
intelligence,
but they
or
would
has
have
knowledge,
matricularized by 45
and,
though.
or has not. So I'm going somewhere.
Come on.
If that man has a particular knowledge or a skill, right, he can continue to work that skill. So let's just talk about this man is skilled in trades or something like that. All that man needs to do is make that trade, like make a great trade, right? If he's been taking time learning how to trade, and maybe he's getting better and better and better at it because he's been learning, right? Like all that man needs to do, like one great or one amazing trade can completely change his life. So we can't say that.
True.
That's delusion. That's
not
delusion.
even.
I feel like
that's delusion.
Or
not exactly.
Or I would say this. If that man, however, has a skill, and it is a marketable skill, and it is something that is in demand, he can his experience, as it increases, his value also increases. So I think that's another thing too. Like you have to remember that as well. Like, so I wouldn't say that if he doesn't have it by 45, there's no way he's gonna get it, because you come across men, they're like, well, I didn't hit my stride until I turned 35, and then it was 5 years of building, and then now. So I'm simply saying that I wouldn't say that a man's, if you look at him and he's 40 and he doesn't have it right at that moment, that doesn't mean he can't get it, or he doesn't have the potential to continue to do so. And the reason why I say that is because it doesn't make sense to me, because if what you're saying is the end all be all, then why are men out here touting that their value continues to increase as they get older, while a woman's value plummets as she gets older? If what you're saying is the end all be all, then how can a man tout, and y'all boy was infamous for saying this, KS, how can a man tout that he's going to continue to age better, and his potential is going to continue to increase, and his value is going to continue to increase, if we're saying that if he doesn't have it by 40, then he's not going to have it? Like wherever he's at 40, that's it. Like it doesn't get any better than that, right? Like that's all I'm saying. I guess that's all I'm trying to say.
Let me explain it to you. I'm talking about the trajectory. Now, if he's a low-level executive at 30, then that's a career that you strive. I'm talking about somebody who work at Ford. He don't want to be a journeyman. He don't want to go back to school. He want to be on the line, do his 30 years, and retire. He don't want to do nothing else. See, that's the thing. Ladies think they're going to get with a man when they get old, and they're going to push him to be more than what he is. If he ain't trying to be a journeyman by 40, he ain't going to do it. And you loving him ain't going to make him do it. What you're going to do is you're going to push him to the woman who's okay with him being a Ford worker.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if you're a low-level executive, but you already on the bike, then that's different. I'm talking about the average working man that's got a little job. Most people ain't got careers. They have a job.
Sure.
This is just a job. If he had all this and all that, he would have cashed in on it by the time he's 40. If he was, you know what I'm saying, by 45, if you a painter, if you want to be a master painter or something like that, that's all I'm saying. That's like saying, oh, if I get with this woman, she gonna start cooking. She gonna start cleaning the house. I'm just gonna love her enough to where she gonna be, no. She is who she is. And that's the problem. People need to accept people who they are, where they are, and be okay with it. And I'm saying most women can't do that. And I understand it. Most women, because I always say that if it's 100%, you paying 100% now of your life. If a man bring 40%, that's still 40% you ain't got. But are you willing, when that check comes and it's $100, that you pay $70 every time, and he pay $30 every time on everything? They'll say no. Even though if you there by yourself, you got to pay $100.
That's interesting.
Won't
They
work.
would
They
rather
don't want to do it.
That's
pay the
not
whole
gonna do
bill
it.
themselves than pay
But a
most of the
man
bill
will.
themselves.
A man will marry the VP or the secretary.
No, that's valid. Yeah, no, that's valid right there. Cole, do you want to redeem yourself?
Yes.
Good. Go ahead,
gonna
Cole.
marry.
Redeem yourself, and I got the last one. Then we're gonna get out of here. I got the
Oh,
last one,
Lord.
and we get
All
out of here.
right,
Go ahead,
to
redeem
Vince,
yourself.
to Vince's question, I mean, I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna accept the guy that bring home 30K. Only realistically because I was that person that brought home that money, and I saw how it stretched, and it didn't go far.
Come on.
I'm being honest, for real. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. And when I take into account like certain things like retirement and savings, what you might need if a family comes about, and especially potentially buying a home in this economy, I think it's going to take more than that. Now, would I go like 60, 75? Yes. But I'm just being completely realistic. To me, 30K does not make it in this economy.
Okay.
60, 75 is not realistic, Cole.
You mean 75, 25?
No,
80?
no.
For
60,
him,
75,
for him
60 to like
to make
75K.
Yeah, she talking about 75,000 annual. That's what she's talking about. So she basically what she's saying is she won't do the 30K guy, but she will do a guy that's a little closer, that's got some workable money. That's basically
top 20%.
Top
20%. Top
yeah,
20%.
That guy's
20%.
30K. That guy's 30K is Miss Cole's rent for the year or something like that. What's that, man? Come on, man. You can't even feed her, man. Come on. I understand why she needs more.
I just wanted to see, but Sheila said she did just say that she would entertain a guy who was making a little less, but she ain't going all the way down to no 30. She said she can't do no with no 30. Is that accurate, Cole?
Yes. Is that acceptable, Vince?
Wait a minute. He can't be a stay-at-home husband?
Hell
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Nah.
Why not? I thought
Nah,
this 2025 we equal, right? Why not?
No.
If he's nurturing, if he
See what I'm
can,
saying,
if
Mr.
he,
Vince?
Just stay at home,
See what I'm
Dad.
saying, Mr.
yeah,
Vince?
why not?
These women are bad. They want everything as well.
I didn't say I wanted everything. Hold on. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Oh, sorry. Now, Miss Carl, we're talking about you. Sorry. No. Yeah, go on.
JR
You
on the
can be a
tech tonight.
stay-at-home dad?
No, she ain't doing that, man. She ain't entertaining that.
As long as he's
All right,
making 70K.
let me throw this. I'm
home.
gonna throw this last one, then we're gonna get on up out of here. I just want to see I want to get y'all opinion on this. This one is a little off topic.
If my daddy was sorry and wasn't around, you don't get the privilege. If my daddy was sorry and wasn't around, you don't get the privilege of walking me down the aisle. That is a hold on. He wasn't there. I'm sorry. If you don't raise your kids and you're not there, you sorry. You a sorry. That's what you are. You understand? So if you are not there and you got a relationship 2 or 3 years ago, cool. He should be a part of it. He should be there. But I think if you were so set in wanting him to walk you down the aisle, cool. Let that be your choice. Sit in it, be comfortable with it, and be okay with your mama not being there. That it is what it is. Like, we're making a whole bunch of excuses. You're an adult. You're getting married. You want your daddy to walk you down the aisle? Let him do it. But it's to the expense of your mother not being there. She's entitled to her feelings. She's entitled to being hurt after she done moved mountains and did X, Y, and Z for you. Period.
Could the father say the same thing?
What mountains did he move when he wasn't there?
You don't know why he wasn't there.
I
The
think
mother might not
everybody's
have been
entitled to
there.
how
We
they
don't
feel.
need
but
to
still,
know.
she needs
You
to
never
make a
do.
decision.
We don't need to
Don't
know
need to
what she
know.
wants.
You're right.
The eye-opening fact is this: she still wants her father there, which means whatever her mother has done wasn't enough. Which
Nah,
means
that's not what it
whoever,
means.
What do you mean? Whoever her mother is to her,
If my daddy was sorry,
All right. So yeah, so I got this one as well. So I'm just curious to see what y'all say. So shout out to eight at the table. Let's definitely check them out on social media platforms. So situation: the daughter is getting married, and she wants the father to walk her down the aisle. But then in turn, the mother is saying she ain't gonna be there because this father is coming to walk you down the aisle as the daughter. But I guess he wasn't, he wasn't in the household with them. So she was raised by the mama, but then she wants the daddy to come walk her down the aisle. And the mama like, well, if you want him to be there to walk you down the aisle, I ain't coming to the wedding. So I'm curious to see what y'all say on this. What's y'all position on this? I thought this was an interesting video. I'm gonna let you get it right. I'm gonna let you get it, Cole. I'm gonna let you get it first, then I'm gonna come down to Vince and Joe. I saw them come off, and then I'll circle around after that. Go ahead, Cole.
I would say it's a tough situation, and that was one of the exact situations I feared with my parents. It was kind of similar with my prom, where my dad was there for probably, I don't know, 20 minutes and left. And that was like a hard thing to kind of deal with. So I would say with that type of situation really calls for maturity on, I think, both the parents' part, because it's not about their relationship and their past or whatever. It is there to support the child. So yes, mama manipulation, yes. And in my case, it has been grandmother manipulation. So it has always been when it comes to events, kind of making sure all three of them are settled, which has always been a tough thing to navigate. So it would definitely be a situation where, like, if it were me, I would have to sit all of them down and have a conversation. Like, look, this is my day. I love you guys equally, despite y'all history before me, and even while I've been here, I'm asking y'all equally and inviting y'all equally to be a part of my celebration. What you choose from there is up to you, but I'm gonna have my day. And if certain parties don't want to show up, it would be respectful to let me know in advance, so I can have the proper person stand in.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that would be how I would honestly, truthfully have to handle it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that right there. I was just curious. Let me come down to Joe, and I'm gonna come over to Vince. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I've never experienced anything like that or known anyone who has. So hearing it from Cole, it's different. Um, it's. I mean, I get the mother's anger. I mean, we don't know her history. You could say, well, she ran a man out. No one knows. But assuming that for whatever reason they're both responsible, and she was there to raise the child the entire time. Um, Maybe she doesn't want to happen where he's there for a brief period of time and then he leaves again. So in a way, it could be that it's her way of protecting her child in her mind from him coming and then going, but only coming at at the at one of the major moments of her life and then leaving again when he wasn't there before or probably won't be there after. So perhaps that's the mother's fear. So in her mind, she's protecting her child. However, it could also be selfish in the sense that if the daughter, irregardless of him not having been there, wants him to be there, then she, as the mother, should want to support her daughter. She doesn't have to like the father. She never will at this point. But she should have the level of maturity to say, well, it's not about me and how I feel about it. I'm going to be there along with your father, and we're going to be amicable, respectful of each other. It's not going to last more than 4, 5, 6 hours, and then you're not going to see each other again. So if she can't hold herself together long enough to say hello and goodbye to her father. So the man, her father, can walk her down the aisle because who else is going to walk her down the aisle? I can understand from the daughter's perspective. Who else is going to do it? Her uncle? Is she? Does she want to walk her down the aisle? I've never seen that before. So it's like I understand why the daughter would want him there, even though he wasn't there before. It's kind of like a symbolic, some semblance of normalcy for her, perhaps. And I just think the mother should support that. Because at that age, if she's getting married, she's an adult now. She can make those
Right.
decisions. And so that's what I think about it.
Okay, appreciate that. Vince, go ahead, man. What you think about this, man?
I'm gonna try to keep this story short. This actually happened to me. I have two girl cousins that we were raised like brothers and sisters, one a year older than me and one a year younger. Their parents got divorced when they were very, very small. Father was a plant worker, got on drugs, typical story. She got married. Her mother said he could come to the wedding, but he's not going to eat a spoon of the food that I paid for. The mother walked her down the aisle.
Whoa.
My cousin wanted her father to stay. The mama said he can't stay because I don't want him eating no food that he didn't pay for. I remember times as a child he would try to come by and see the kids, and she was honoring. And well, you're not paying your child support. It was very, very tumultuous, very disrespectful. And when my other cousin got married, he didn't come to the wedding. My younger cousin actually built a relationship with him maybe 5 years before he died. And they got close. She actually found him dead in his apartment, a little one-bedroom apartment, 2 weeks after he had died. And this is what I mean by culture. I truly think and they turned out outside looking in, the older cousin's been married that's my rich cousin. She's been married for 30 years. They got married right out of U of M. My other cousin has been married for 18 years. Her boy just graduated going to Morehouse. But my grandparents were the example that we had of marriage. And we say it all the time. If we didn't have them, I don't think they would have turned out to be the women that they were. And I definitely don't think I would have turned out to be the man that I am, because we seen good marriage, even though our parents weren't that. So this is what I mean by culture. This is what I mean by trust. And it happened. And she wanted her father to walk her down the aisle, but her mom was like, no, I done paid. They had a nice wedding too at the Westin. It was rich. She paid about 40 grand. Cashed out her 401k and everything. He said he ain't gonna eat nothing.
Wow.
He came and was crying. It was sad. It was really sad.
Yeah, no, that's a wild one, man.
But she was a piece of work though. Their mama was the personification of the angry black woman. Never got married. I don't even know if she had a boyfriend.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there, Vince. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Claimed to be a Christian. Was very active in the church. It was mean as a junkyard dog.
You know how that go, man. You know how that go. Let me keep going. Beatbox and Coco, you want to say anything at all? Y'all good? Go ahead, Beatbox.
I'm of two minds. On one hand, if the father was a really horrible person, like abusive to the woman that he was with, I mean, any number of things. I can see the visceral reaction being justified. I can see it. On the other hand, as a man, I see typically, this is me as a man, that women run men off, and then kids, once they get older, then they have a relationship with the kids later on. At the end of the day, it's not the mother's wedding. And I think that's the biggest part. That's the biggest piece. So if you want to honor your daughter's decision, barring any exceptions, like the father is a gangbanger or something, then you just need to accept that decision, be a grown up, and just bite that bullet, because this is one day, you'll be okay. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, that makes sense. Coco, you want to say something? You good?
I was just going to piggyback on B-Boxer. I think that And I feel like I don't know if it was Kenyatta or Donovan that said it, but it's giving that the mom was just jealous. And I see this a lot. Like, the relationship with the father didn't work out. I don't know what type of provider he was. Did he pay child support? Did he not pay child support? Don't know all those details. She could be bitter about that area, not sure. But if your daughter wants to have a relationship with her father, you should be encouraging that, because children need both their parents. They need both their parents. It's one thing if they can't have both their parents, there's a circumstance that they can't have both their parents in their lives. But if they can have both of their parents in their lives, then as parents, that's what we should always want for our kids. Over and above anything else, our feelings are, and like Deepak said, outside of the extenuating circumstances of abuse or anything like that, like obviously that is what it is. I totally get that. But outside of those extreme cases like that, then as a parent, you should want your child to have both of their parents and be able to experience both of their parents. So the idea that you would give her ultimatum on her day, right? Like her day. Listen, if you've ever thought about your wedding as a little girl, the one thing that you always think about is your dad handing you off to this man and your dad walking you down the aisle. So if she was willing to forgive him for whatever happened in their past and make amends with him, don't block that. Don't block a reconciliation. Don't do that. Don't make her choose between you and her dad. That should never be a thing. And I feel like this is a completely separate point, but I just feel like I want to say this because it's been pressing me a lot lately. This thing that we have as women, this whatever it is that we have with our daughters, can we please break this generational curse? Whatever it is as Black women, whatever this is that we have with our daughters, I don't know if it's competition. I don't know if it's envy. I'm not sure if it's I honestly don't know what's at the root of it, because I think it might be a little different from woman to woman. But whatever this is that we have with our daughters, we have to break this. This is poisonous. It's a real issue. I'm seeing adult women having to say that they had to excommunicate their mothers. They just have to stop talking to their mothers. Like I need us to figure our stuff out. Like this should not be a thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that right there. You want to say something, JR?
Yeah, I just want to ask a question. Yeah, so to the guys, so if you're obviously in this instance, obviously wasn't married, so let's obviously the mother of your kids, obviously you're not married to her, you break up, and then obviously, but she abused you in your relationship. Your kid is getting married, but you've got that relationship with your kid, whether it's your son or your daughter, whatever it is. Is she coming or not?
Can you repeat that one more time?
So similar scenario, but obviously the man and the woman, they got the kid, whether it's a son or a daughter, the daughter's getting married. Oh, sorry, the kids are getting married, right? But they wasn't married. The parents wasn't married, but the mom abused the dad during the relationship. That's why they broke up. Are you letting the mom come to the wedding because you've got that tight bond with the kid, whether it's your son or your daughter? You're the one that's got that tight relationship, but mom abused you. Is mom come to the wedding or not?
Well, I wouldn't be going. So if it was that, I wouldn't be making my kid choose. I would say I wouldn't do it. I'll be the adult. I'll say, hey, and I'll tell her this is what happened. Not every talk and tell about this. There are things that happen. I can't be there, but I'm not going to ruin your day by telling you to not bring somebody that you reconciled with to your wedding. That's how I would handle it.
I actually like that response. That's a tough one, because you don't. I wouldn't not want to be there for my son or daughter's wedding. But then it's like, if I show up, am I then accepting the abuse that I had from that woman? It's the weird one. But then that would be a selfish reason. So then it's like, do I go for just my daughter and son? Yeah, but that doesn't erase the wounds and the past and the abuse that I suffered. That person may not have been abusive to the child, but if they were abusive to me, it's going to be difficult for me to be there and cheer on my son and daughter. Yeah, go you. And then turn around to my right or know that that person's presence is there and what they did to me in the past. It's going to be difficult. I honestly don't have an answer for that one. I hope to God I'm never in that situation. That much I can tell you.
Well, I have an answer because now. I don't know about the physical abuse because I've never been physically abused as a man, but I'll say taken advantage of, grossly taken advantage of in the court system, which I have been. I would definitely go to the wedding because I'm in a better place. I'm married. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 beautiful children. What do I have to be mad about now? 20 years later, I'll go, that's over.
So
And I
Vince,
was grossly mishandled.
what
But
if you weren't in a better place? What if you weren't in the place you are now and you felt like that what happened to you then is a result of what that person did to you in the past? Would you still be able to make that decision?
well, I don't know because I'm not in that place, so I can't really speak about what is not. So I think people do hold on to things, and that's why they can't move on and they're bitter because they're not in a better place. And that's probably was my cousin's mom's situation. She hadn't remarried. She probably felt like she had to do everything by herself. But I would go because I don't hold no animosity towards nobody. That's not gonna give me long life. It says in the Bible, forgive those who spitefully use you, and she spitefully used me. But I feel like I did it for my kids because they never went without. So if I had to work 3 jobs, I had to work 3 jobs. That's what I mean. It
Like
was
that
what it
boot.
was.
And I would assume after 20, 25 years, by the time the child gets married, you would assume that a lot of that animosity would have dissipated. Maybe
Yeah.
not totally go away, but that's the assumption. Clearly, that woman in the video, it was as if it happened yesterday. So now I think it just varies from person to person. I can't tell you hypothetically what I would do. Vince had actually went through it, so he can tell you confidently, this is what I would do because this is what I've done. I can't even tell you that. I'm not in that position, and
And,
I.
and then plus, I'm petty. I go in that boy fine, my wife fine, I'm fine. So I'm gonna go in there stunting. I'm petty. I'm petty.
Oh man. No, I
Peppermint
think
Petty.
Oh, I got my petty pump, so I'm going there. I'm gonna go in there sharp. Remy, sharp. And fine. And
yeah, I
look
think
30 years younger than my ex-wife. Shit.
I think another part is that we gotta consider is we gotta take out the competition aspect. Yeah, it's not a competition between the parents. Yeah, the mama competing with the daddy, daddy competing with the mama. It ain't no competition. I said, I've heard some young ladies say stuff like that. I'm the mama and the daddy. No, you're not. Yeah, you're the parent that's taking care of the kids, and just call it what it is. You're not the mama and the daddy. Like let's just be honest about this stuff. And I said that's how I know that there's this whole competition thing wrapped up in there. To your point, Coco, this is some of what's going on between some of the mamas and the daughters. You have some of the mamas wasn't making the best decisions when they had the opportunities. Now they competing with their daughters because they feel like they missed out on some opportunities. There's some competition in there. Yeah, but we got to let this stuff go because see what happens is the kids get caught up in the middle. Yep. So instead of just approaching the situation authentically and doing what you got to do as a parent, you sitting here comparing yourself all day long to the other parent. Yeah, but some people say, trying to be the favorite parent and all this stuff. And it's like that never works. Yep. And from this video, if this young lady said, because we don't know if this father was no deadbeat.
No.
They didn't give that context. He just may not have been in the household with the daughter and the mama. But that don't mean he didn't have a relationship and wasn't still in his daughter's life. They didn't add that context to the video. So that don't mean he was no bum father.
Sure.
Yeah, but the fact that this daughter wants her father, and I'm pretty sure this is probably the scenario for most young ladies who are about to get married. They want their father to walk them down the aisle, or if they don't have their father to do it, then they're going to be looking for the next closest thing to that. So the next closest man to them that they respect, that they admire, who's looked out for them, who's given them advice, who stepped in as a quote unquote father figure as they've been growing up, they're going to look for him as the second person to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, Johnny, would you mind walking me down the aisle? You've been holding me down all my life, like I'm about to get married. And trust and believe, if he that type of dude, he gonna gladly walk you on down the aisle.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we gotta let this competition go. And then two, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna take some closing. And this is a message to some of the parents. Let me just keep it a buck. Your time is over. Yep, it ain't about you no more. Yeah, once you decide to have some kids and start a family, you got to take the back seat. Let me let me just go on and say that for a lot of the parents who still ain't figured that out. Yeah, you got to take the back seat. Yeah, for the fathers out here, it's about providing and protecting and go make the money, bring the money home, make sure the kids got what they need, make sure the wife got what she need, and keep it moving. Yeah, for the ladies, for the mamas out here, you ain't the hottie no more. You ain't getting all the attention no more. It ain't about you no more. You got the daughter now. The daughter getting the attention and folks making sure she got what she need and she good and she off on her way successfully and all that. You got to take the back seat. Yeah, but I think some parents are struggling with that today. I see some of these videos out here and these parents be wilding out more than the kids at the party. And I'm like, your time, you got to calm that down. Now it's time for you to set the example. See, you switch positions. Yeah, now it's time for you to set the example for the younger folks to look up to. That's the flip. Yeah, you ain't supposed to be twerking harder than your daughter. Like, that ain't how that works.
Yes.
And the same for the daddies. You ain't supposed to be out here doing some of this nonsense harder than your sons. Like we got to get up out of that. Yeah, once you decide to be a parent, you have to take a back seat to the kids and make sure they got what they need. Yeah, that's parenting. That's what that looks like. So I mean, at some point we gotta let that sink in. But all right, man, let me take some closing and we go, man. I'm gonna come across the top and the bottom. We out of here. Coco, what you want to say before we get out of here?
I'm gonna keep it simple. Going back to the original topic, that men don't deserve 100%. Listen, if you don't believe that the man that is courting you to decide whether or not he's going to choose you, or that the man who has actually chosen you deserves 100% from you, then you ain't ready to be married. You're not wife material. So if you want to know if you're wife material or not, you can start with that question. Are you prepared to give 100% of your effort, your time, your energy to this man? And if you are not, move around. Do not waste his time. Don't waste his time. Y'all always running around here talking about some y'all ain't got time to waste. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Who ain't nobody got time for that? So he ain't got time for that either. Move around, ma'am, respectfully. Respectfully. Like, y'all not gonna keep going around here talking about y'all want to match energy. Y'all want to match energy, but then it's the only area you don't want to match energy. The man is bringing you everything that he has. He bringing everything to the table, all the resources. Because if he don't show up with all the resources, you're not even going to entertain him. So he got to show up with 100%. But then you talking about, in this one instance, you're not going to match his energy because you got to save at least 5 or 10 for yourself. And listen, if all you want to give your kids is 5 or 10%, baby girl, I feel bad for your kids. I feel bad for your kids. And this is off topic, but I feel like I need to say this. Y'all are running around here because she talked about an exit strategy and keeping that 5 or 10 her ex, because she got to dig herself out and all of this. This is how I've been seeing divorces, the aftermath. This is how I've been seeing them. Maybe you see it something different, but this is how I've been seeing the reality of this. You break up with him, you file for divorce, whatever your reason is, outside of DV, or adultery, which, to be honest, we big grown people at this point. I don't think that adultery is the deal breaker that it once was, but y'all can go with whatever y'all believe. Okay, the Bible says so do what you do. But outside of those reasons, you guys are filing for divorce. You get a little something, whatever y'all part ways with, you get half, or some of y'all ain't getting half, some of y'all getting whatever y'all can get. And if you got kids, you might get a little support. If you might get a little alimony, if maybe you were a stay-at-home mom or something like that, you get a little something that's only gonna last for about a year or so. He be down bad for a minute. Because he got to recoup. But then I see these men and something happened. And this is why I was saying what I was saying earlier, Vince. I see these men and you see them a year later, 2 years later, and they done leveled up. They done unlocked a new character. And now they done recouped every single dime that you walked away with plus some. They in a better situation. They still look halfway decent. And they still got resources that another woman is going to want, right? Those men usually don't have a hard time finding a replacement for you. They usually don't. But then I look at you. The alimony that ran out because you were so excited when you, I'm free, girl. I'm about to be outside. I wasn't to be able to be outside. I'm about to be outside now. You outside, so you done spent all the money up. Now you solely relying on the child support. He trying to get 50 custody because he actually want to be with his kids. But you like, nah, because see, you really don't want to give up that money because now you need it. And you're in the position that you were in. You ain't really leveled up like that. You haven't, because the bounce back for women is harder. Unless you was married to some wealthy man that you walked away with millions, that bounce back is harder. That's the reality. That's what happens. So I just wanted to say that, like, while y'all glamorizing these extra strategies, while you glamorizing the possibility of divorce, while you saying, I don't have to stay and I don't have to give this and I don't have to give that, the reality is you stand to gain more by being in this relationship with this man. So why would you not give him 100% of yourself? You stand to gain more. You are your most valuable in this relationship. No man is going to value you more than the man that chose you. That's it.
Okay. No, I appreciate that right there. Appreciate that closeout. B-boxing. What you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah. Men don't deserve 100%. I'm obviously of the mind that men deserve 100% and women deserve 100%. But being JR on the same type of time, hey, if you don't want to give me 100%, you got to pay. I'm cool with that. And there are a lot of men, especially my generation, we're cool with that. So you want to not pay? You don't want to give me 100? Cool with that. Fine. You'll just be on a certain list. You'll just be on a list of women that I'll deal with. This is obviously if I wasn't married, by the way. But yeah, this is what's going to be. So yeah, a lot of ladies, y'all gonna be alone out here. God bless you.
Okay, straight like that. Appreciate that closeout, Vince. What you want to say before we get out of here, man?
I will say to the younger men who might be listening, don't even entertain a woman that don't want to give you 100%. I think that we got to know our value as men. I didn't know mine for a long period of time because, I was raised by a woman. I thought I had to chase her. I said, don't ever chase no woman. You let her know that you're interested, and if she ain't interested, you ain't got to chase her around the block. So I would say that, men deserve 100 and women deserve 100 if you're talking about getting married, So that's my point. I think that, we deserve 100. And I think that men need to know their value. And I think I learned that when I was dealing with my relationship before I got married, her not changing her name. I didn't really think about it. There was a big thing until I really thought about it. And I was like, she don't really value me. And that was the ending of our relationship. So yeah, I say don't even entertain a woman that doesn't value, that want to give you 1,000%, fuck 100%, 1,000%.
No, that's real. No, that's real. That's all the way real, man. It's all or nothing. We ain't playing no games. Appreciate that right there. Cole, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yes, to the topic, men don't deserve 100% from women. I believe that they do. I don't really think there's a such thing as keeping score and percentages. Men and women deserve 100% from each other. To add on to the topic, so it's my 2 cents.
Okay. All right. No, I appreciate that right there. Straight like that. Straight like that. Joe, you want to say anything before we get out of the night, man?
I agree with the others. Everyone deserves to give 100% to who they want to give 100% to. No one's obligated to do it, but if you're not going to do it, you owe it to that person to tell that person that you're not willing to do it. I think what she did is extremely rare. She said out loud what she was not going to do. What a lot of people do, men and women, is they'll get into a relationship knowing they're not going to give their all, misleading that person, misdirecting that person, stringing them along, and then waste that person's life and time as well as their own. So that's a lot of karma that comes with that, I think. Um, Secondly, I like that second clip. Um, how she didn't want to help the guy. She felt like she was above doing her natural role. She was conflicted by the end of that conversation. It's funny, he didn't barely say a couple of words, just asked her some questions. So you didn't think he was gonna, isn't that what a help me does? Isn't that, don't you think you could have just helped him along a little bit if he already had a job? He wasn't a bum. Well, no, no. Well, maybe he was right. And then by the end of it, she's like, damn. I don't think a lot of women had that clarity, that moment of clarity that she did. It's because that man took the time to give it to her. Most men, we don't do it, which is what JR's point was. We don't, we know it, we see it, but we're very rarely waste our breath and speak about it because typically it will lead to all kinds of animosity and arguments. And then again, it's also not our problem to deal with. So we figure, well, if that's the way you are, then that's the way you are. He has a television show, radio show. So he's getting something out of it. Even if he doesn't benefit directly from it, he's getting paid from it. He's getting the views from it. Case in point, the clip going viral right now. He's making money from his advice being given out. But a lot of men aren't willing to do what he did. So I hope that she took that, and all the women who saw that, who see themselves in that lady, take that advice and run with it. That's it. Y'all have a great night.
All right, you as well, man. Appreciate that closeout, man. JR, it's on you. What you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, thank you once again. Yeah, for having me on. Great conversation. Yeah, men don't deserve 100%. Yeah, like I said, guys, you just gotta charge it to the game, man. If she respects you, she gonna give you 100%. That's just, as real as it can get. But hey, if she doesn't, hey, listen, start showing it those receipts, baby. You're a human being, you're an adult. Yeah, start paying up. Start paying up. Yeah, that's how it goes. So, like I said, we know what needs to be done, Mr. Price. We know what needs to be done. They don't want to come on board. That's it. It's as simple as that. So we can get it to what we can, make it work. But both parties have to, mutually agree to it. But if one party is not going to agree, that's it. And like I always say, as much as, we're talking about the ladies and whatnot, that's not to say that men are perfect, but any way, shape or form, nah, we're not. Does that make sense? So we understand what we need to do, what we need to work on, but we are clued up enough to know that two people working together, you probably get that a bit faster. But some people just don't want to see that. But thank you.
That's real, man. Appreciate that closeout, man. Well, yeah, I'll say this, man. Like I said, if you're not bringing 100, then just stay by yourself. It's just that simple. Yeah, if you ain't about to put your all in, just stay by yourself. Ain't nobody forcing you to do nothing. ain't nobody dragging you to no altar. Like I said, if you ain't about to put in 100%, then just be by yourself. It's just that simple. Y'all don't know why we keep playing these games out here, man. Yep, damaging folks, playing with folks' time. Yep, dudes, you know what I'm saying, finally turn the corner, ready to get married on some serious stuff. You playing with them. You know what I'm saying? Women out here getting serious, getting their mind right. You playing with them. It's just like, man, quit playing these games and stay by yourself. If you ain't on no serious stuff, leave these folks. That's intentional. Leave them alone. Yep, leave these folks who trying to handle some biz and trying to get into a relationship and they ready to give 100, leave them alone if you out here playing these games. It's just that simple, man. You out here playing with folks, man, and wondering why stuff is all messed up because you playing with folks, man. But, man, shout out to my panel, man. Coco, Cole, Beatboxer, Joe, JR, Vince was on. Appreciate y'all holding me down on the panel, man. And shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Great conversation. Real conversation, got transparent. I felt a little emotion tonight. Got a little heat in the back chat. There's a lot going on today. A lot going on. Yeah, we ain't taking that 30K. There's a lot going on tonight. But like I said, it was an awesome conversation. Awesome conversation, man. Awesome conversation, man. Man, this is Kandid Konvos, man. We do this show every Wednesday night. We go live on YouTube and Facebook, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So definitely, if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that share, man. But, man, we'll be back next weekend, next Wednesday with another awesome topic, another great conversation, another great panel, man. With that being said, everybody have an awesome night. We're going to catch y'all next Wednesday.